Hello, we're talking about marketing campaigns. And the first thing that's foundational you got to do is you got to build it. And you got to figure out a plan of how you're going to keep in touch with everyone in that database so they don't forget that you're in real estate. Again, the key is when they think of real estate, we want them to think of you. And that takes what I'm going to say is a written plan. Now, I've referenced the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book by Gary Keller before in this series. And one bit of data is that if you, and we talked about this a little bit with your database already, if you've got a database that you've been marketing to on a regular basis, the number of referrals that should just be auto generated from it after marketing to it consistently for 3 to 5 years. That marketing plan that's mentioned in the MRA book says that we need to reach out and contact our people in different methods 32 to 36 times a year is the number in there. That's kind of the magic formula. So what does that mean? Because when I think of 32, where do we even start? Well, there's four big rocks that I've given you here. One is every month send a snail mail postcard. There's a lot of different programs you can use out there. I personally use Global Direct Mail, Global Direct Mail in Urbandale, Iowa. They send out a campaign to us every month, agents that work with them, of different pre-designed postcards. You can pick the one that you like. It's got pre-written script on the back. You just send them your database and they bulk mail it for you. And for the bulk mail price, to have it be stamped and color printed jumbo postcard on both sides, I think is a great value. So that's 12 of the 32 to 36 right there. So you got a big chunk. The next 12 is every month sending them an email. These emails could be market updates, it could be statistics, it could be how to take care of your house, like different projects to do every month. Some of these monthly emails you could subscribe to some pre-written text for so you don't have to recreate it every month. That's fairly inexpensive. I call those drip campaigns. Maybe you don't have the money for a stamp yet. So instead of doing 12 and 12, maybe you do 24 emails. So making sure that your database is up to date and complete with emails. That would be a reason to reach out and call people and say, or text, private message, say, hey, what's a good email for you? What's a current email for you now? So now we're at 24 of the 32. And here's where it maybe gets a little bit more complicated. This recommends 4 to 5 times a year that you do something specialized. I do yearly calendars, magnet calendars. Those are kind of corny, but I've done them for so long that people now expect it every year. And I've even had people say, when are we getting our calendar? It could be Mayday baskets. It could be football schedule, the Iowa State, or I'll even throw in UNI, that magnetic schedule. Those are really popular. It could be a special mailer with a little token of gratitude with it, like a scratch lottery card with something cheesy that says, don't rely on luck, hire a good agent, right? Something like that. There's a ton of ideas. One big category is client parties. And you might be thinking that that sounds like a lot of work and a lot of money. It does not need to be. It could be a chili cook off for the Super Bowl in your garage, and everybody brings something potluck. It could be sponsored by vendors if you want to do something bigger, like a movie theater. It could be a trunk or treat with a bunch of other vendors or even with other people in your office. That one's a really expensive one. Whatever speaks to you, even for a hobby, could be around a client party. Then the suggestion is last on the list, 4 times a year you make personal contact. I'm going to use the word phone calls, but I also know that it's 2023 right now. And text and direct message is obviously a very popular form of communication as well. So when I say phone call, we can use those as well. But relationships with phone calls and voice messages, I think, is still very powerful. 4 times a year, we suggest you reach out to everyone in your database and give them that one on one conversation. And you might be thinking, what am I going to say? I'm going to recommend that you offer something of value, which we'll talk a little bit about in the next video. But I'm not a fan of making a phone call that says, I'm a real estate agent. Do you have any leads? Who do you know looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That sounds very greedy to me, and it might to you. Some of you might be fine with that script, and that's great. I would say for those of you that are cautious and on the fence about making those phone calls or a little intimidated, give value. And if you're hosting client parties, the value is make a call and invite them. There's one of the 4. And 2 of the 4 would be calling with follow up. Call them after the event and say, thanks for coming. It was great having you there. Great to see you again. Or it would be, hey, I know you couldn't make the event, but I just want to call and thank you. I know that you probably try to get on your schedule, and I'd like to let you know about my next event. So 2 of the 4 right there could be just around those client events. I wouldn't underestimate them. Don't let cost be a reason to hold you back. There's a solution to everything, and everything is figure outable, but you got to have the plan.